we're starting, I think. So, so hi. I will check if it actually worked or not soon. Okay, so hi friends. I guess that's where I should start. I have, I think, 140 subscribers, and I got tons of views recently, and it's all coming from my video about bun, which got like 4 times the views of my like few other popular videos. So that was pretty fun. Bun kind of I don't know, it released with a bang. Everyone kind of like talked about it, and I guess that's where I want to start. Theo did video about bun. I think it's a bit like too too shallow, but he did a stream with Jared today, and that one is actually kind of like too deep. So yeah, but it was interesting. Actually, Theo is somehow like responsible for bun being named bun. So that's like a funny story. So I think it goes like that. Jared started working on bun. I think he said like year and 2 months ago or so, and Theo heard of him almost like a year ago, and they were choosing a name, and he basically like named it after Bunny, who was called Bundle. That one of like Theo's friends had. So what I was going to say, I mean, it's a video. Fireship did video, which was again like just a few minutes. Okay, and some ads, which you don't hear. Actually, trying to figure out the way to basically like react to videos. So maybe I will keep that one because it's just 3 minutes for the end of the stream. We will check my super janky setup because in macOS you don't capture audio in OBS by default. You have to like install some kind of like third-party software, which I didn't want. So anyway, I really recommend that video that went too deep. And I somewhat recommend this video, and probably most of the people who are on this channel watch the watch the video that I did. So because it's my most popular video. Anyway, so someone actually like complained that I like hum and so much. Oh yeah, by the way, Jared like posted a comment which I really like that because this is like a creator of bun, and he noticed. Anyway, where's the yeah. So like all the like sounds that I make, especially between transitions. So when I do chapters for my videos, all the sections start with so let's and so on. One of my parasocial friends Kevin. Let me find. I think I subscribed to him, but I don't know if I will be able to find him quickly. Oh, I can see that it's copied it from Twitter. Yeah, so I talked with him like how he does his videos and stuff like that. Which, by the way, yeah, so I learned of him because I watched this solid.js video, and probably like both of them just from different accounts, so that's why you don't see it as watched. And he did like a video about TypeScript, which I think that's how we kind of like started talking with him about like prop types and so on. So I said to him, no, this is wrong, you should use TypeScript. And I think he's kind of like warming up the idea. But where's his video? He did like a children first, yeah, something like that. Is that a video? No, it should be longer one. So okay, I think this one, yeah. So this is about like how he organizes his form library, and I think it's interesting. It reminds me a lot of how everyone used to split everything into like smart and down components and all of that stuff. It's a bit like too prescriptive, if that makes sense. It's like, yeah, it's a nice tool to have in your toolbox, but I don't feel like everything should be designed by this. So that's why that's like a smart and down components thing comes to mind, because like I remember people who were like would watch a code that you have and say, oh no, this is like this is bad because you are not splitting like your smart and dumb components. Your code base is basically like useless. Which, okay. Anyway, but he told me about this. I forget where it was. Okay, here. So he told me about this software that's called Descript, which is basically it would allow you to see everything that you said in text form and easily find all of your like arms and likes and all of that stuff, and kind of like seamlessly remove that. I don't edit my videos, I mean, yet, but if I'm going to do it, I really want to check this, just check this software that he recommended. So now I need to not forget to link all the stuff that I talked. Okay, so what's the order? Okay, so here's the order. I wanted to talk about this topic a bit because I think it's really interesting. So as you may know, I was trying to kind of like look into kind of like Solid and Quick and see what they're doing. It was 4 months ago, so I hope that I kind of like learned since then. But I just got kind of like interested in frameworks and how everyone is kind of like approaching it, and like what's the kind of like new is happening there. Oh yeah, I actually wanted to mention Fresh as well. Let me find it here. Oh. Yeah, I'm starting way later than I was I was going to. So I didn't have all the, I didn't prepare everything that I wanted. Okay, I can find it, but okay. Oops. Okay. Let's restart. Anyway, so I was looking into all of the frameworks and whatever one is kind of like doing and all of that stuff. Oh yeah, I remembered what I was going to find. So builder.io guys, the ones that are doing the wonders are I can't find anything for some reason. Okay. Okay, so here. Oh no, they removed my comment. I'm sorry. That's unfortunate. It had the link, so they removed it. Anyway, so that's bad. Okay. How do you want to do it? Maybe yeah. I don't have too much time, so I want to do a bit. So I wanted to kind of like classify all the stuff that I was looking at in terms of frameworks, because like Astro is about to release version 1, I think, this month. Fresh just released. There was a new framework called Bot that kind of like got my interest, and of course, like Quick is trying to reinvent like everything that's on the web. So it's just interesting how things are kind of like moving. So so Mishka actually like gone and kind of like ran with with my idea, and he split it based just on the client side. So okay, let me check if that's the same stuff. So yeah, 0, 1, 2, 2.5, and 3. 0, 1, 2. I guess I should just start with this one. So it's funny how everything seems like we're just reinventing PHP, but unfortunately that's how it started. And there's actually like more ways how to kind of like split everything up, and I think I wanna eventually kind of like do my version that is kind of like covers as much of the stuff as possible. But what Mishka did is he basically basically like in terms of how much JavaScript you're running on your page, he split it up this way. So at first we had just static websites without JavaScript, or like that would work if JavaScript is disabled and all of that stuff. So and again, in terms of, if you look on the server side, it could be built in different ways. It could be like just static website. It could be like using some kind of like templates to build like kind of like nested stuff. Or before then we had iframes, and like header was like a one iframe, and the like sidebar was a second iframe, and the content was third iframe. And when you click on the header, it will navigate like inside of iframe, so like your header will stay the same. So it wasn't completely like you wasn't working with one document that is generated on the server using these templates. It was just kind of like looked like it had templates. So there are like ways to split hairs in a sense on that side, but for for regular users it's like no. And it's again like DX unmaintainable. Everyone would kind of like argue on that because there are like newer frameworks that are like, I don't know, what's the PHP one, Laravel, which is considered like the framework, or like WordPress, which is probably like powering 70 or 80% of the internet right now. So it's a bit kind of like how do I say it? If we're only looking at DX in terms of what you're running in browser, and here we mean that you're writing JavaScript without using any client-side frameworks, yes, that JavaScript is unmaintainable, but the overall developer experience is pretty good. So it's funny kind of like split here. So I don't know. So again, static, I don't see what's static about PHP. So it's like, yes, if you're talking about like to your JavaScript, it's really static because you don't have any. So I don't know. It's a bit silly how he split it up. But anyway, so we started with PHP. PHP could do stuff with just okay, I'm checking that I forgot to do something. Let me quickly fix it. Yeah, I'm trying kind of like triple monitor setup. I will see how it works. Right now, the problem is that it's kind of like harder to navigate. But anyway, so then we started to have some tools to work with JavaScript on your basically like website that was generated on backend. That's probably how we would say it. And again, it's not completely unmaintainable if you don't have too much stuff. So it's like if you have a dark mode, light mode selector, and that's the only thing that your JavaScript does, it's going to be really maintainable. So, and it's going to be for someone who's familiar with PHP or whatever the backend is you're using, it's going to be super maintainable. So, and that's where I go kind of like deeper into what kind of like interaction the server could have. And here you can say, okay, your server could be like completely rendering everything that is happening. So if we're talking about something like full stack in terms of Node.js and something like Fresh or Astro, they could run in like a server only kind of how does it say it, without like client. So it's not that different from WordPress. So I don't know what's why he's like so hostile to backend. But again, like on a backend, you can have like a LiveWire or whatever they call it in Ruby, and like Elixir, LiveView, where your server could be like really interactive. It could work kind of like over WebSocket and like update everything automatically and like be really interactive. So and it would have kind of like 0 front end, so it's going to be like first or second category in his table. So I don't know. Anyway, so here I don't know what's the difference between like 2 and a 2.5. Right, so like either you're kind of like generating HTML with SSG, which is like static HTML, or if you're probably like don't have HTML at all. Okay, there's another story that I could say, but I'm not going to. Or like with SSR, where you're using your kind of like the same structure, but your HTML is dynamic. It's going to be like having the same data. So I have kind of like this separation as well. So like SPA and like something like Next.js. So SPA would be like second generation in his terms, and like 2.5 in these terms. And again, it's hard to say what's happening here. And it's funny that he's responsible for Angular. That's why Angular is like in the first place. no one would put it on the first place right now, but it's kind of funny that he's like, okay, we kind of like invented this. I don't know if, actually, I never heard of Angular having SSR, so I don't know anything about Angular though. And here he's like maintainable. So maintainable, unmaintainable, it just means that this one is using components, which again, I don't see as that clear of a difference. And yeah, because of kind of like island architecture, or kind of like resumability, right? That's how they call it. Your hydration is really fast. And again, here I kind of like separated the like Astro from kind of like Next.js and Quick. And here, not entirely sure where would Astro kind of like fit. And so the interesting difference is that my one of the first like jobs that I worked was on this like really ancient project, which is called nitrogen project.com, I think. Yeah, it's still up. Where is it? Demos. So this is really interesting. So all of this stuff doesn't have JavaScript, but it looks like it does, right? So what is happening is that it's a Erlang framework, which the all the like LiveWire and LiveView and whatever the Ruby has, they are kind of like based on this idea. Is that so where do I start? So we have some data, right? And we have some interaction. So where's the button? Right. So this button it has like a way to interact. And so this is like Erlang atoms, which are in Elixir would be like with colon. And in all of the other languages, that would be kind of like a string, kind of like a constant string. So it's not really like it's not really clear how to it's kind of like enum that has like the string as the key in enum. So it's a bit strange. So anyway, so this, where we don't have like onClick equals some like jQuery stuff, it will turn into jQuery. So if you I don't know, I should probably like pause the what's happening? Yeah. Oh. Yeah, I guess it's probably having some kind of like I don't remember how to do this. I think I need to add like a breakpoint to break on. Yeah. So okay, so where do I start? Oh yeah, so it's yeah, because of the traversal with WebSocket, I lost the okay. This is turned into debugging very old very old framework, but bear with me. Okay, so this is the stuff that it was. So it will have some code that is like, okay, look for this button, look for a click event, and in case of the event, let's see what's the okay. Oh yeah, so it sends this event, and then when this event is accepted, that's where our breakpoint was working. So it gets a message from WebSocket. Oh, yeah, actually, I should probably just show the WebSocket. Yeah, so this WebSocket, and I'm sending a message, and that message like yeah, so it just tries to do all the like changes that needed to be done, and like inserting this this HTML. So this is just a long way of saying is that if everything is done on the server, so if you're offline or like extremely slow, it will, oh yeah, WebSockets are not throttled, I think, yet. Anyway, so you can see that because you don't have any JavaScript that is running kind of like locally, you don't have any interaction until like the server would work on your event. And the funny thing is that it will keep the state. So once I'm on this page and I have this WebSocket is kind of like my session, and whatever is happening in this session, so it's like it's if I refresh, that WebSocket is killed, so I lost all of my state. But while I'm on this page, I have the state, and it can do it can basically like have some state and like add things to the state. So where does it actually add it? So this one is like it's reading from DOM. So like so it will look for like input box that has this text, and then so this message it will be like the value of this input. So you're like on the server you're writing, okay, if I need this data, let's go to DOM and like pick it up, which is really like funny way of doing this. Yeah, so this is like show, effect, pulsate. So all this stuff is kind of like jQuery like, but you notice that like in this there is no mention of something like this. So it doesn't have components, which if you call like this a component, maybe it does, right? It's just a function that is getting called. I think it's called like from this template. So once you work with the template, it has like all the kind of like all the things that you're declared. Yeah. So anyway, so it kind of like doesn't have components. It's not really using jQuery, so it has their own kind of like wrapper against around jQuery, as far as I remember. So, and it's not like just static. You saw that it was reading like DOM state and all of that stuff. So so that's why I don't I don't like this this list, because it ignores kind of like all the all the stuff that I mean, it's like, okay, we have a server, and it's like servers are built in tons of languages and using tons of frameworks and all of that stuff. So and the reason why I'm talking about it is that this thing is not that different from kind of like React server components or like something like Remix, where you're clicking a button would trigger like a form action, and that will go to the server and will call. The only difference is that here I'm on my server could write stuff like this. Okay, let's go to like DOM and read something from a server, and in Remix I have to have everything in form beforehand. So in a sense, it's even kind of like more primitive. Anyway, I think I'm spending too much time on this, but I think I wanna have this kind of like more formalized. And the thing is that there's actually like a kind of like a new way of thinking about it, and they did mention it in the video, which I guess I closed. Yeah, this one. So they mentioned yeah, that's the comment that got got into moderation. They mentioned about the idea of like using web workers as kind of like your server, or like one of your servers, which is, again, it's not it's not on this list, but it's a cool kind of like a way of approaching it. And I forgot, yeah, so the stuff was in the comment. And let me quickly try to find it. So it was yeah, it was like a video. Okay, I found it. Yay! Yeah. So it was this video where Nolan goes into goes to describe kind of like how if you go into like all the like progressive stuff deep enough, you will have apps like that. And the interesting thing about this, oh no, is that, oh no, what? So, oh yeah, I need to switch to this one. Okay, so clear. And if I click on this, so this page is called service worker. It was rendered by service worker. So all of this HTML was like, I didn't get it from actual server, I got it from service worker. And what it does, where is it? Where is it? Yeah, GitHub. Okay, now I don't remember how it works. Templates. I think that's, yeah. And where's the, no, that's not it. I think this one. Yeah. So what is happening is that this page is generated by this service worker, and the funny part about it is that it even supports streaming. So I think I'm going to like this is like a half an hour and I still like I'm not close to finishing. So so it will go and it will respond with the stream. So you will see data as kind of like as it goes. So if you have like a huge page that requires a lot of stuff to be rendered, as soon as you're ready with kind of like footer or header, your users can see it. And not even like all the like cool new frameworks like Next.js, for example, not all of them support streaming. So, and this one is running in service worker, and which is kind of like local to you, but even for that, it supports streaming. So it's really cool approach. And again, it doesn't fit on this kind of like map because it doesn't use components. And oh yeah, I guess because it's like, because it doesn't have any like front-end code, because everything is kind of like generated on the server side, even though it's like a service worker server side, it still goes into like generation 0 or 1. Yeah, 0. So this irked me. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, this is like too simple, but this is like too simple, like simpler still, and it kind of like it breaks. And I didn't add this to my list because it's too crazy. Yeah, so I will try to figure out how to deal with all of that, and I will try to figure out how to describe it better. But the idea is that, okay, so he has like a kind of like description of what he thinks about like all the generations. So I will do it quickly for mine as well. So first one is WordPress, which again it's like we probably have some kind of like generation 0 that is like just a static document that doesn't have like anything at all. But if we're looking at it more of like from front end side, it's like first generation is, okay, let's generate this HTML on the server. We can stream it, so it could be like really fast, and that's kind of it. We don't have any JavaScript in it, or we have like jQuery stuff that is kind of like fast to hydrate, and it's kind of like sprinkled in, and so it doesn't kind of like mess up with your forms and like navigations and all of that kind of like interactions. So that's, and again, there are like tons of things of different complexity here. And if you add a generation 0, that is like static websites, again, that could be like generated from even from React, right? I forgot what's the one that is generating from React, and it doesn't have any like JavaScript on the client side. It goes, a lot of things go into this, and in a sense, probably like that servers worker example goes to this as well, because it's like, okay, we're generating HTML. We are not dealing with kind of like interactions apart from the interactions that browser handles, right? Only forms and navigation. Yeah. So second is kind of like this nitrogen stuff is all the I added Htmx. I don't really know what how it works. I heard about it, but as far as I understand, it's kind of like this it's way simpler than kind of like having a WebSocket, having all the state and all of that stuff. So like this server still like was keeping my session and was keeping all of this stuff. So here you're just like doing a request on a server, and you're just like replacing HTML that you had with new HTML, which is, again, it's not jQuery, it's not components, it's really like server rendering, but that is split somehow. So it's like it's not it's not iframes, as I was saying. It's like, but it's kind of like, in a way it is. So there are ways to build server rendered websites, which he calls static, but so third is SPA. So that's where all the like React, Angular, and all that stuff comes in. That's where you have all the stuff that you look at running in JavaScript. So if your browser doesn't support JavaScript or something like that, because I was I was testing with my Nokia phone, and like websites that use ES modules just don't work there. It's just like a blank page. That's it. And that's where like the difference with Htmx is that when you want to get new content, you go and get HTML, and SPA you go and get JSON. So I actually wrote this because I was looking at bud. So bud is what kind of like what started all of this, and it was really cool because it is really kind of like Rails or Next.js kind of like stuff. So in terms of Rails, it doesn't have Livewire. It has just kind of like DX kind of like of Rails. You can, or Laravel, I guess, right now. You just write a command, it will generate you some code. And for Go, it's probably like the way to go, because the language is kind of like simpler. So it's easier to generate code for it than than to have some elaborate like macros or just like okay, I'm not going to there. But anyway, so that's like the bud sorry, bud is what kind of like started me, inspired me to write this. The idea is that it's written in Go, and you know how in Next.js you have like get static props, and your server has to kind of like figure out what is happening and return you basically like a JSON, right? And you go and render that JSON. So here, this JSON is returned by a Go, so and rendered by Svelte. So it's really the difference is that because it's server-side rendering, it still needs to run Svelte on the server to generate HTML when you're like not just navigating to a page, but you're just how do I say it? So for the first page load, you need to run Svelte on the server to generate HTML. So you got your JSON from Go, you put it in some kind of like JavaScript runtime. I don't know what they use, but I'm assuming Node. And it will render you HTML that you send to the browser. But then on navigations, I would assume, do they have like a demo or official website? Okay, so if I open network tab, and if I click on something, oh no, this one is full page navigation. Interesting. Huh. I don't know if that's welcome. Right. Is it hosted anywhere? They don't have like a website. Bug. I'm sorry. It's not a bug. I'm sorry. Yeah, I didn't see anything hosted in it. Not even their, not even their own website. Okay, so maybe I'm wrong. Maybe server side renders every time. I was sure that they have like a link component or something. Okay. Okay, I'm not going too deep into it, but the idea is that it's interesting that kind of like when you look at Next.js, you're like, oh yeah, that's cool. It's a cool way of you can only do that because everything is Node in JavaScript, so you can run your app in Node and it will return the same code. But no, you can write it in different in different server. And again, is this just different ways of doing server side stuff, or is it kind of like a new way of doing client side stuff? Because instead of using templates as something like WordPress would do, you're using components. So like in this graph, dx should be great. So I separated Astro and Fresh into like a separate category, and he didn't because of the how do I say it? Because it is kind of like reclaiming the WordPress stuff. So in a WordPress, if you have like a dark mode selector, that's like one small component that you have. Like it can use whatever. It can use jQuery, it can use vanilla JavaScript, it could use React. It doesn't matter. Like rest of your app is built like kind of like separately from it. So that's why it's not the same as like Next.js. It is a separate thing. So what I feel is like the 6th generation is it's just the same as the 5th one, but it goes kind of like all the way. Your like your whole website is still built with components like in Next.js, but you're getting I mean, in Fresh, everything is written in components. I guess it's more interesting to compare it with Fresh. So in Fresh, everything is written in component, but you have to separate kind of like pages from islands. There, it's just like a separate folder. But in Quick or Marco, we don't have to. I think Mishko thinks that Quick is kind of like so different from everything else, so he doesn't want to have any like comparisons to anything, so he doesn't feel like Astro or Fresh are in any way comparable to Quick. So he doesn't feel like Marco is is compatible to Quick. That's why he's like doesn't want to kind of like even acknowledge that they exist. But I think it's kind of like on that way. So, and again, there's like a separate kind of like dimensions of this kind of like service worker stuff, is that maybe how do I put it? So in case of like Next.js, if I have a counter component, that component is getting rendered on the server and then it's getting rendered on the client. And we're like, yeah, I wish it was kind of like smarter and only render it on the server, or I wish it was dumber and only render it on the client instead of doing twice. And then you're like, okay, but we also have service workers, so we could also render it there. Is it like a third way of rendering it? So do we render counter on the server, on a service worker, and on a client, or do we want to put it in one place, and maybe that one place should be a service worker? So yeah, so I don't know. I don't know how to. I don't know how to finish this thought. Okay, so all of that was for this, and yeah, it's pretty cool that Builder is doing these videos that are kind of like are going pretty deep, kind of like similar to Ryan videos. Okay, so I want to keep this one for later. Bun. Did I say everything I wanted to say about Bun? I mean, I want to say it again. Thank you, Jared. You really helped me. I think I got like 5x the subscribers from all of this. Okay. Yeah, just organizing it so I I know how to deal with it later. Anyway, so this was a funny. Where did I get it? Okay, it's ads again. Yeah, I think it was just like randomly recommended me on Google, like on YouTube. But it's funny how they were discussing basically like how beginners would like learn about programming, and there was some guy, I don't know him unfortunately, but he was saying that like all the programming is that you're reading from value, you're writing to value, and you have a conditional branching. And in a sense, it's like, okay, if you want to show something on like, if you're writing a game and you want to show a pixel, you're just writing to like this in this section of memory, you're writing like this kind of like value, and pixels like is turning into different color. So it's and depending on like in which order you are changing colors of the pixels, like you will have a game. So it's funny how like everything is so complicated. And on the same at the same time, it's like it's really not. So anyway, just wanted to share this joke. Okay, so we're just 1 hour in, and we're finally going to what we started. So it turns out Next is not great for static pages. I don't know why it didn't felt obvious like a few years ago, but I think the problem was that in terms of static generation is like, what were the options? It was what's happening here? Okay, I don't know what's happening. In terms of static site generation, what were the options? There was like Jekyll, I think, that is like Ruby, and there is one Hugo, I think, in like in Go, and so all of them require you to kind of like go to and to learn something new. And Gatsby was I think the most popular one, and it required you to learn GraphQL again. So it's like, yeah, I can try. I think I did website with like React static, but again, it's going to be kind of like pretty similar to Next. So that's why something like Astro is more interesting, because it's like it's JavaScript. it's more modern, but it fixes the like static website stuff completely. Yeah. Anyway, I had some thought, but I don't want to go there. So let's let's try to find what we ended up with. Oh yeah, I was playing with bun a bit. Oh yeah, I guess just third note about bun. In my video, I had a lot of problems with like trying to run bun as kind of like as node, right? Just a server, and I was trying to have a server that will just like respond with something, and apparently they fixed it. So I'm on the last version, so I think like it's 0.1.2 or something like that, or 0.1.1, and this one is actually like works as expected. So yeah, so it returns yeah, so it returns data as you would expect. So I think on my stream, it would just like kind of like randomly quit, so it wouldn't wait for the server, and here it actually works. So, but other than that, I was going to look if I kind of like need to create another bun video. Most of the stuff that worked there works the same. Most of the stuff that didn't work kind of like still doesn't work. So it was I guess that I guess that's an interesting question for my series about like writing a framework. Is that so if I want to write a framework, should I target Node, Dino, or Bun, right? And I think it's interesting that it's interesting. I think I tweeted about it. Let me find it quickly. Yeah, so now we have 3 runtimes, and like, do we need all of the 3? Do we need all 3, or do we do we pick 2? Do we pick 1? It's interesting. So what I'm thinking is that I'm hoping that I guess I should just read aloud what I'm showing. Is that Dino is no done right, Bun is no done fast, and I think the kind of like the stuff that is like extra in this list is Node, because we already have Node that is fast, and we already have Node that is right. So if Bun just like kills Node, and then it just implements all the like Dino how to say it, not abstractions, but like Dino experience, I guess, like all the like importing URLs, and maybe it will not do like permission checks. Jared said that he's interested in doing like permission checks on the server, so maybe you can compile your binary and kind of like make sure that binary doesn't have a code that can like read a file or something like that. So if your code has an issue, they wouldn't be able to, I don't know, like read your etc passwords or something like that. But I think only Dino is kind of like interested in this like okay, let's run a random script from the internet and see what it does, and where you can kind of like go press everything that you're doing, like, okay, I want it to be able to write this file, but like doesn't read my environment variables or something like that. There is a funny joke about environment variables. We were working on kind of like a Slack competitor at some point, and I looked into like Slack a lot, how they do everything, and I found that their Electron app would read all the like environment variables and will send it to basically like the web view frame that you have for Slack, and that one either was sending that to their server or like could kind of like at any point just send it. So if you have like your I don't know, like super secret token like in your etc not etc but like bash profile, something like that, basically like Slack has access to it, which yeah, pretty scary. And like in Geno, it's cool that you can like, okay, you can read this but not this. So I don't think Ban is interested on doing that, like on kind of like on dev server, but it's probably interested in that on kind of like a distribution. So if you're like creating a binary that you want to kind of like spread on the internet, yeah. So it would be cool if like Dino doesn't kill Node, but like Bun kills Node, and then we have Dino and Bun. Anyway. So finally, Astro. Okay, let me try to remember what we were doing. Right. So yeah, so now you can do bun run dev, but it will still run Node. So everything works. And I think Jared like complained about it a bit on Twitter. It's that people would like basically run Node like I'm doing here, and would complain that it's not faster. Yeah, so like the documentation has ways to go. So maybe I will make a new bun video when like new docs are out or something like that. Anyway, so that's our website, and I think we did all the stuff, like all the links are bold when they should be bold. Like all the menus are clickable with JavaScript that is just a vanilla JavaScript. So I was thinking about like maybe looking into kind of like modernizing. But the thing is that actually what happened is that this is some kind of like template that I got from, I don't know, maybe like Tailwind UI or something like that. And that template had vanilla JavaScript for like this progress scroll and like this mobile menu. So it was vanilla JavaScript that I wrote into React, and now I wrote it into vanilla JavaScript back. And do I really want to rewrite it to something else again? Okay, so the problem that we were seeing last time was that basically like our a lot of our styling for Markdown didn't work, and we will try to figure out why. I think I tried to. Yeah, this is bun stuff. Yeah, this is to do. So again, bun run. Yep. Which again, it'll just run node. Can't resolve. Oh no, maybe this one is actually bun, because this is a bun error. So yeah, no. I guess I broke something. What's happening here? I don't know. I wanted to edit this. Hmm. They broke it somehow. What's happening? It's fine. I was playing with bun uh, in this project, so I don't know if that what broke it. Why is it so slow? It didn't show me what port it started, which is going to be scary. Yep. Okay. So here we see all the like styles that are happening, and they're not happening here. So the whole page is buggy. So we're just we were going to just start on this like block quote. So let's figure out what is kind of like responsible for its styling. Okay, so this is Next.js, this is Astro. Okay, so okay, so text gray. Where do we get this text gray? So we're looking here. So where do block quotes? Okay, so it actually, interesting. Huh. So what could be happening is that, yeah, we don't have tailwind config. Maybe we should. Yeah, because it has like markdown and stuff. So let's start by copying this this file. Should be in the root. Okay, so now we need to figure out. So like everything that is in source is good, and so markdown is also in source. So it's not. Okay, it is pages. So I guess everything is in source and just MD, something like that. Okay, do I need to restart? Do I need to do what? Okay, so now it broke in a different way. Okay, so I don't know if any of that makes sense. Yes, I'm going to restart it. Yeah, so it's complaining that, yeah, our config is not not for version 3. So okay, so should be content. Okay, let's restart it. Oh no, this is the wrong one. Okay, so it became gray, and that's that's for sure. So I guess if we break it here, yeah. So that was kind of it. That it didn't know to look at in the MD file, but yeah. So I think there is like a command that is like init or something like that. No. Okay. So let me just remove everything except for the content section. Okay. So what could also be happening is that yeah, I don't know, that's it. Okay, so what happened to our styles? Oh, silly me. So we don't have JSX anymore. Everything is in Astro. And I need to restart, right? Yay. Okay, so we are somewhat there. So what is happening here? So I guess it's just um, it interacts with Markdown differently. What's happening? Wow. What is happening? Yeah. So unexpected end of the attribute, white space before attributes. Interesting. So nothing that a bit of CSS couldn't fix, right? So the problem is that before we didn't have any p tags. It was just like literally what we wrote. Yeah, so I need to undo p tags somehow. So it's block content that is inside of block quote. and should be like displaying line. Now it doesn't have. Now it doesn't have the white space at the end. Yeah, this is interesting. Yeah, I guess we were using different different Markdown parser. Am I changing anything? Does it actually support JSX? This is cool. So that gives me an idea. So this word is a paragraph right now, but what is going to happen if I put it in a JSX? Yeah, it turns into a string. That could be a way we're going to fix it. Okay. Right. So the colors are a bit different just because we like moved from 2 to 3, but other than that, it's fine. Yeah, I didn't like it that we would have to do a lot of this stuff, but maybe it's maybe it's not as a big of a problem. Okay, so let's just try to copy all this stuff and see when it's going to start breaking. Yeah, so I think seems fine here. Oops. Okay, I think I'm forgetting which one I'm copying. So what is Passetto? Okay, I wanted to copy it until this link. Okay, and now I copy this. Right. So pre-tags is what was causing a problem last time. So right, so this tag is fine, but this one isn't because it has curly braces. When I put it, it's like, oh no, I don't know what to do, because it tries to do this side as kind of like the right. So now it's not monospaced for some reason. Yeah, because it. Okay, so what if I do something like this? Yeah, that could be like a cheap solution for this. Yeah, so the idea is that you can probably do something like this. but I don't have a kind of like a design for this one to look like this one. So I know that I can do this, but I would probably have to do it here. Okay, we can quickly kind of like try. So we are talking about so let's just quickly check if all of them actually have like the same. Yeah, it seems like they do. So if I just go to here and just add a pre-block with this same styles and like apply. Yeah, so the color is different. It has all the different stuff otherwise. Size is kind of the same. Yeah, let's figure out color. So it's a background, I would assume. This one only has border. Okay, but the background is it's showing it as inline. It's showing the other one as inline as well. So I don't know. So 24, 39, and here it's the same one. Okay, so what's the color of this one then? Oh, it has Astro code. Okay. And we have some magic value. That is probably coming from like Markdown parser. Because it's not just pre. Yeah, so our background color and our padding. Padding actually good, looks good. So I don't know. Are we married with this color? Should I care? Okay, so let's just. I guess it's okay to leave it here. It's just we're not going to use this pre-block, even though we can, and we can probably use. So all of this stuff was because because Next was kind of like not working with me, and this parser is probably knows how to do black quotes and all of that stuff. Oh, maybe not, but I don't know. Um, let's keep it like that for now. So all of this is probably fine until next read. Nope, nope, not everything. expected closing tag 77. Okay, this is the best error message I saw so far. Okay, 77 pre-code. So what's happening here? I didn't see. Closing tag per code. What about this one? Yeah, this is line 77, this one. Interesting. Okay. Yeah, this article is kind of like too big, so I don't know how I'm going to how I'm going to check that I copied everything correct. Okay. Um, yeah, so we have this block that we figured will not work till we add this. I wonder if I can take like a screenshot and then another screenshot and just like compare pixels or something, just to check if everything is correct. Oh, there is going to be like a thing that I need to do. Okay, so it's crashed again. Guessing this table. It probably tried to parse it. Yep. Okay. Oh yeah, this cool looking node. Let's see how that's going to work. Yeah, I think it's going great. Okay, so let's figure out this black code stuff. Yeah, so this like how I added to like a section and everything just updated. This is really cool because in Next.js, this is actually like I don't know if they made it better since then, but basically like the version that I have right now, it has a custom code that will just on like on locally I will have a backend function that can render markdown, and it will just periodically like render it and like replace replace HTML with new markdown, which means that I can like wrote my own HMR, and I'm not a fan. Okay, so we're eating up some of the like white spaces. So we're going to try this trick as well, and it didn't work. Oh, why wouldn't it work? Corresponding brace. Yeah, what's with the corresponding brace? Fail to parse markdown. Yeah, this one doesn't show the line anymore, so it's a bit sad. Yeah, so this one worked. Yeah, but it doesn't preserve those new lines. Okay, so if I do it on a smaller scale like that, I mean, maybe I just need to insert a BR or something like that. Oh yeah, that's because we wrote this, not this, this, where is it? Yeah, black quote in line. I guess I just have, I just have a, yeah, let's figure out. Oh, I think we actually fixed it differently. Okay, so let's start here. So if I remove this, oh no, we did need it. But huh, okay. So it is a bit different. Yeah, so like this one is a paragraph, but this one is not. Okay, this is this is this is hard. I think I'm not going to fix everything here. What I'm going to do is that I'm adding this is black block code. I will add something like has paragraphs that and so I need CSS has class. Yeah, so this black quote has no is, yeah, I'm confused. It is. Is it like supported in browsers? Yeah, I think it is. Okay, so does it have like a knot? Uh, element doesn't have class. Okay, not. Yeah, but that's for P. Okay, so let's check anyway. So not Asperger. Okay, so now okay, so alternative is to have oops, forgot where it was. Okay, here. So alternative to have like PR here. But then it looks too close. Maybe quickly let's go and see what was the style in the original article. Oh, it wasn't an original article. That's like me translating uh, the content of like of screenshots, right? Okay. Um, yeah. Uh, I don't know CSS, and I usually like not trying to even make it look like I do. Uh, so let's remove this and make something like that. So I have one display inline then. Huh. Okay. Uh, so just don't ask me to to help you with CSS. Okay. Okay, so I see why I can't have a display line here, but this is like too much padding. So can I just remove the padding? Padding is oh. I think I get it now. Yeah. It's here. I have padding, but I don't have it on the first one. Is that all into just remove from the first one? Cool. I bet there's someone who knows CSS who was screaming. Okay. So let's figure out this block quote. Block quote. Okay. So block quote and paragraphs again. So what did work last time? This one? No. So what's the problem? Expecting closing block quote. Block quote. Okay. And this one is probably yeah. So we will just add has paragraphs again. Great. Okay, we are more than halfway there. A huge block of Python code. That's probably not going to fly. Okay, so here we're adding everything as a string and just hoping that it's doesn't have strings inside. It does. Oh yeah, this one. So we're not concerned about this, right? We're only concerned, yeah, something like this. Yeah. Okay, so let's remove some of it. Okay, it's crashing. So what's it's crashing about? Unexpected end of file. Maybe this should be like in separate line or something. And this is Python, so I have no idea if, yeah, so let's figure out how to add block quotes, ticks, how to add ticks. So I'm assuming something like this should, oh, crash the server completely. Okay, we did it again. So that's not it. So probably this. Yep. Oh no, we don't know if that works. What? Yeah. I'll click on it. Okay. Things are moving forward. So this is huge pre-block again. And we know that it has to be on a new line. Otherwise it's not going to work. Still not working. This one should be on a new line. Okay. I was actually hoping that this is going to be a bit more. This was going to be a bit more exciting, but it turns out that it's literally just copying this, all of this stuff, and hoping that it will work. Okay. Another pre-block. So I think I'm starting to to get how to do it. Okay, so so this pre-block we did this. This would be. Okay, almost there. I think it cut me off. I was saying that we are almost there, and so now we have few backticks that we need to escape. So here, 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 and here. Okay, great. So now this. Okay, and this. No. Oh yeah. This. Okay. Pre-block. This and this. This and this. Check for ticks. Work. Yeah, if you think it's hard to convert it, what about writing it? Okay, this all of this before block quote still works. So now the block quote and okay, so I think that was the approach, and I don't know what's happening here. So let's remove the link for now. Okay, so we know that it's somewhere inside link. Okay, let's leave one link. Okay, it crashes. No, it's more than one link. Where's this start? Okay. So let's leave just one link. Okay. So I guess it needs to have the same kind of. Will it add paragraphs instead of a tags? Okay, so the idea is that the and tag should be on a new line. No. Okay. So where did it stop working? Okay, here. So then we need to have this on a separate line as well. No. Maybe this should be on a separate line as well. Okay. All right. I need to check that will help. Okay. So yeah, because I need to preserve all the white spaces. I think we're almost done. Okay, great. I think we did it. It's 2 hours. Okay, so okay, so what we're going to do now, we're going to have a bit of rewriting of history. So we want to be here, and we want to just copy this copy file here. Let's say copy as is. Okay, so now so now we need to resolve the conflicts, of which we want to accept both, because we want to add layout, and here we want to accept current change. I think that's the idea. Right, so we're only adding layout, and so the done version should be just the, oh no, this way. So we just accept all the changes that we did. Okay, so we're checking that it's the same, and we don't actually need to do. We can just fix up into it. Okay, so we copied file as it was, and then we kind of like resolved all the issues with it. That's the idea. Okay, so convert markdown post to work and Astro. Okay, I'm getting tired. So what's oh yeah, tailwind config. So why did we need that? All right, because it wasn't working for add tailwind config. Otherwise, it wasn't picking up classes used in .md. Right. So I don't know if that's like a bug or what. Yeah, because we have this article and it uses classes and stuff. So I don't know. Oh yeah, but we use the same colors kind of like on the different pages. That's why it worked. Yeah, so I don't know if that's a bug in Astro, and I should like ask them to just fix their tailwind config to check MD files. But if someone from Astro is watching, yeah, let me know. Convert markdown post to work tailwind config. Okay, I think it's a bit like a wrong order. Yeah, it should be this. But yeah, let's push it. I'm not universal on this. this account to blog. Okay, so we're waiting for it to build, so so that we will see the second page. And I want to write a page about Astro. Because git update, yeah, cool. I wonder if that's the date of deploy or or of the date. Yeah, it's just the date of deploy. I mean, we can live with that. Yeah, so great work, everyone. So I think once I write the post for Astro, I'm moving Astro into like my that's just like the website I have on my Twitter, and yeah, I wanna I want it to be the Astro one. So I don't know if I will like just rename them. I will figure it out. But off stream. Okay. Do you want to run like web dev, whatever the web measurement? Yeah, let's run it. And this one, right? So this is the result one. Do I want to say anything while it's running? I wonder what that means. Let's see it locally. Yeah, I don't know what that means, but anyway. So first contentful paint 3.5, 1 and 3. So do we have a yellow number? Where's the LCP? Video formats. All right, yeah, that's like huge images. I don't know what's happening. Okay. What's happening? Am I like out of memory or what? It's getting crazy. Okay. So I wonder how our accessibility became better by switching, but but our CEO is worse. What does this mean? Robot is not valid. Okay, that's an interesting question. I'm glad I checked. So robots.txt 404. Okay, so both of them are not existing. So top targets. Okay, so what's the robots.txt allow? And then I wondered why my blog is not indexed right. Okay, so public robots.txt. Okay. What else? One link without descriptive text. Yeah, I'm just wondering why why the score is different. Apart from robots.txt working differently, I didn't see the difference. It's the same stuff, so yeah, so it shouldn't be different. that's what I'm getting. Okay, so I'm sad it's not 100, but considering that we have like a huge video there, I wonder if we can make it kind of like lazy load or something like that. Oh yeah, what's happening? Okay. Maybe that's a good exercise before we finish. I'm way over my time though, and I wanted to test video. Okay, so let's figure it out. So if I go to network tab and I hit refresh, what is getting downloaded? Everything. So all the GIFs and JPEGs and all of that stuff. So how do I? Oh yeah, did it get it? Yeah. So what did I do? So let's go here. Let's go to the network tab. And let's open images, I guess. Yeah, so maybe. Yeah, so I don't know where I don't know what this should do. So let's figure out GIFs, I think. So GIFs are the biggest ones. So now let's figure out what we can do with them. So I have this page open for like 2 streams, and it was about like trying to yeah, trying to work with okay, so Astro Markdown images. Should I bother learning Astro? So using images. Okay, so do we have an image component? And if we do, how do we? How do we use it in Markdown? or under hooks. Okay, so right. That's the plan. If we import image from Astro components, so import image from Astro components. Where was I? Okay. Okay. So now, what's the first image? Just some good parts. Good parts. Okay, so this is the first image. So now let's create a image tag that will have src. To be honest, I don't remember why. What is that like? Is it the alt tag? This part? I'm not sure. Maybe just right click on it. Alt tag. Why is it an alt tag? Okay, I don't know. So, but let's keep it for now. So what we wanna see is that oh, it crashed again. What's happening? Unable to render because it is a component. Unable to render image because it's undefined. Okay. Do I have? Okay. Maybe let's start here. Okay, so let's go to contacts. Let's do this import stuff. And let's just do console log, which I don't know what this means. Okay, undefined. Is it possible that we are just using older version of just older version of Astro that doesn't have images yet? It's undefined. Okay. What's happening? Okay, my editor is kind of frozen. Okay, code debug markdown. No image. Probably looking at the wrong one. So let's go. I think releases, right? Astro Image. Do we have docs? Is it too much to ask? Okay, so everything is okay, so and then I guess import export is not defined. What? Okay. Let's give up. Let's go to this thing, and instead of where's our image? Yeah, instead of did I commit it? 7. Yeah, I guess my VS Code just dying. But anyway, so let's just do no. It's that Jim. So let's just call it an image. Let's just go here. We will see 2 images. I'm pretty sure it's not going to be downloaded twice, but we're gonna remove this one now, and we still see it, but but let's do so it's async image. No. What's the tag? Yeah, 2013 is not going to help. It's more it's more recent. Async render. React is fine, but lazy, eager, interesting. Is that it? So loading, lazy. No, you still see it, but it's just the I should probably download that stuff just in case if he updates everything. All of my assets are going to disappear. Right, so let's do GIFs. Actually, let's read docs first. So what does it do actually? So image attribute string blah 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 user agent outside of visual viewport. Yeah, so that's exactly what I was going for, is that if we don't see it, don't show it. Load lazy preventing. Right, all the sizes. We don't do sizes, so I wonder how that's going to work. Okay, so GIFs. No, GIF. GIF. Okay, so this is image that has loading lazy. As alt is how to use Assetto, and src is all of that stuff. Okay, and this, so image alt src. Okay, so we don't do dimensions. I don't know if that's going to ruin us a lot. Okay, GIFs. Doesn't look like it changed anything. Yes, it's jumping a bit more because we are doing lazy, but just as an experiment, let's. Okay, we couldn't use image tag, but experiment to use lazy loaded images. Okay. I'll check the deploy. Okay. So I think that's the. So we will do measurements again. Once it's deployed. Okay, I think it is. So let's look at the network tab. So all the GIFs are there. So if I reload it without cache, all the GIFs are there. So it doesn't look like it did anything. Okay, so Okay, we talked we talked a lot. What do I want to do? So yeah, I was going to check if my how do I say it? If my setup to like react videos will work, and how do I start it? Okay, so that's it. So in here, so this is going to be like an experiment. So if it doesn't work, I just I just cut out this part of the video. Okay, so let me try to show this.
If you've been told that the only way to pass a coding interview at a top tech company like Google or Facebook is to grind through thousands of leak code problems,
I can skip ads.
It is July 6, 2022, and you're watching the Code Report. One of the most profound quotes about the JavaScript ecosystem comes from an old British guy who said,
"Out of intense complexities, intense simplicities emerge."
At the time, nobody knew what the hell he was talking about, but in 2022, it's clear he was prophesizing the rise of a new JavaScript runtime called Bun. That's right, you no longer need Node.js or Dino, so go ahead and uninstall those from your system.
Right, so this is probably the first interesting point about all of this is Bun a runtime, or is it oh, I see what's the problem. It's like it's too low a resolution. Okay, I will figure out the resolution part later. Because in that interview, Jared said that Bun being a runtime happened basically like as the last thing that that happened. It was a bundler, and it just I think the good way to put it is that he saw that the more stuff he touches, the easier it's going to be kind of like to integrate everything. And he gave an example of like he wrote a really fast SQLite implementation, and it was kind of outside of the scope, but on the other hand, he's like, yeah, but now I can write a really quick SQLite applications, even though in a sense it's like if everything is fast but like this one thing is slow, everything is kind of slow. So Bun becoming a runtime, it just like it turned out to be like an optimization, but it didn't start this way. It started as a bundler, and it can do like Bun is fighting a lot of fights at the same time. It's like Bun is a really fast way to install like Node modules. So it is kind of fighting against like Yarn and PNPM. Bun is a runtime, so it's fighting against Node and Dino. Bun is a bundler, so it's fighting against like ES-build, SWC, or what's this? It's called something like that, or like Webpack, or Vite, or Babel. So it's really interesting if he's going to to be able to do all of that at the same time. And yeah, so I think this is just a long way of saying it's not just the runtime.
Right now. Bun just announced its first beta release and makes the claim that it's significantly faster than Node or Dino. Not just a little bit faster, but orders of magnitude faster.
Yeah, and on a even the point of being JavaScript runtime, it started as a JavaScript runtime that you run on your development server, but now maybe it's a good runtime to use on your production server, and maybe it's a good runtime to have on like edge provider. So like kind of like Dino deploy or so like Netlify. Why don't you have or Cloudflare workers, right? Why don't you have a bun on edge, and then it's like super fast?
It's always a good idea to be skeptical about benchmarks provided by the creator of a tool, but as you can see here, it's about
yeah, it's funny that Jared posted like a poll on Twitter. Is like, what do you think is the best like a benchmark to show on the website?
3 times faster when server rendering React, running database queries, or executing native code with foreign functions.
Impressive. Very nice.
But what I'm more excited about is what this tool can do to simplify your life as a developer. We'll get into that.
It's kind of too small for me to see. Fetch, WebSocket, readable stream. So I don't know. So in terms of simplifying, what I see here is that it simplifies working with TypeScript. It simplifies working with JSX. Other than that, hopefully it will simplify working with like native kind of like modules. Okay, if I want to run this code that I wrote in like C++, maybe bun is going to be like the better we'll have like just a better like way of doing that and some kind of like better abstraction, but I don't know that yet. So yeah, maybe like .env will simplify life.
That in just a minute, but first I know my mom is going to ask me what a JavaScript runtime is in the first place. You can think of JavaScript like gasoline. It's dangerous and bad.
Yeah, this is like a car analogy. So I will try to figure out how I can make like a quality better. So I'm looking for something like this. Do the work. Oh no, now it's over me. Can I just move them around? Yeah. Okay. So maybe like this. Okay.
For the environment, and by itself isn't very useful. To make JavaScript or gasoline useful, it needs to run through an engine to convert it into raw energy or machine code for a CPU. The most popular JavaScript engine is Google's V8, which powers Chrome, Node, and Dino, and makes JavaScript execution extremely fast with just-in-time compilation. Now, gasoline combined with an engine still isn't very useful. The average...
Yeah, just a quick note about JIT, I guess. A lot of people are skeptical about like all the bun benchmarks and saying like, okay, but if you have a just-in-time compilation, and like eventually V8 will optimize all the code to be as fast as possible once it's like running enough times. So if you have like a server that is serving like I don't know, like 10,000 requests per second, after a few seconds, like everything that it's running is kind of like hot, and it's going to be really fast. So maybe like bun is not going to be as performant in the long run. And I think there are like two replies to that. One is, yeah, but bun is going to be faster on like a startup. So your first 10,000 requests are going to be served faster. And if we are talking about something like serverless, where maybe you won't have as bad as like cold starts, or maybe you're only replying to requests like rarely, so maybe like every other time you have a cold start, and maybe we won't have like millions of requests, as you were saying, like to get it hot. And the other reply is that the thing that Jared does is not as simple as, okay, let's prepare some of this stuff to be like to be more easily like started on a cold start. A lot of it is just like doing less work. So for example, like his like faster React render or something like that, it's not going to be as fast with V8 and just-in-time compilation, just because it's doing more work. So it doesn't matter if it's doing it as optimal as possible, it's just more work.
Person wants that engine in a car with user-friendly APIs like wheels, file system access, subwoofers, WebSockets, automatic transmission, and so on. A JavaScript runtime is a complete car. All you have to do is put a little bit of JavaScript in the tank, and it will take you anywhere you want to go.
Right, so this idea of
subwoofers, WebSockets, automatic transmission, and so on. A JavaScript runtime is...
Right, so if you have an engine, apart from the engine, you have to have some kind of like APIs. So in Node, you have, I don't know, like file write sync file, I forget. But in bun, you have like bun.write something, right? So all of those APIs are cool, but there are also APIs like fetch or like WebSocket and so on. So those the ones that should be kind of like standard between JavaScript runtime and browser. And Jared was saying that it's cool that he uses basically like because he's not only using JSC, I forgot like the engine that WebKit is using, but he's using the like WebKit itself. So a lot of kind of like things that are already implemented in browsers, he can kind of like reuse, and he doesn't have to implement them himself, or how he put it, I don't have to test them myself.
Is a complete car. All you have to do is put a little bit of JavaScript in the tank, and it will take you anywhere you want to go. Now that we're done with that ridiculous analogy, let's talk about what makes Bun special. A big one is obviously performance, but how does it actually go so fast? Well, first of all, it doesn't use the V8 engine, but instead uses JavaScript core from WebKit, which is generally considered to be faster, but more difficult to work with. In addition, it's written in a low-level programming language called Zig. This is a relatively new language that's similar to C or Rust, and the creators of Bun say the lack of hidden control flow makes it much simpler to write fast software. It's fun to go fast, but more importantly, Bun is an all-in-one runtime. It has...
Okay, so they touched a bit on the like C and Rust and Zig, I think even like on Go. And yeah, I think the comment that I left is that like Rust is how you write safe code, which matters a lot if you're writing like a browser that is used by millions of people and is written by like hundreds of people. And Zig is like C, but kind of like faster. And it is like simpler and faster. So simpler in a sense that you don't have to use like templates or macros, all of that stuff. You're using the same kind of like syntax with comp time directive to do a lot of kind of like pre-processing at build time. And what's left? C++ is when you want to do everything wrong. Yeah, about Go. I think he said that it's Go is kind of like concerning because of garbage collection. You have garbage collection in the JavaScript runtime. You have garbage collection in Go, and it's probably going to kind of like, in a sense, like be not synchronized, and like you will kind of like pay the price twice.
Or Rust, and the creators of Bun say the lack of hidden control flow makes it much simpler to write fast software. It's fun to go fast, but more importantly, Bun is an all-in-one runtime. It has a native bundler to replace tools like Webpack, and also has a native transpiler so you can write TypeScript code out of the box, with cool features like top-level await, an idea that's already been pioneered by Dino, but Bun will also transpile your JSX files. Also like Dino, it prioritizes...
Yeah, so JSX stuff is interesting. So Dino does some transpilation of JSX, and I don't know it enough to know what's the kind of like limitations are, but I think on like Dino deploy, it doesn't do it as much as on like local Dino or something like that. So yeah, it's an interesting point, but I don't know the answer fully.
Uses web APIs like Fetch, while at the same time also supporting many Node core modules, as well as Node API, which will allow many NPM packages to also work in Bun. In fact, it implements Node's module resolution algorithm, which means you can install packages from NPM into Bun, and those packages install 20 times faster. It feels like magic. Another nice ergonomic feature is that environment variables load automatically. It's not like Node.js where you have to install .env into every project. It also comes with its own test runner similar.
.env. Yeah, I don't I haven't worked with Node on the server. I only worked with like CRA or something, right? That does the .env files for you.
To jest. And as you might imagine, it's fast. Some might even call it blazingly fast. Sounds awesome, but keep in mind this project is in its infancy. There will be bugs. If you're on Windows, you'll have to use WSL, and even that gave me some issues. But overall, my final analysis on Bun is that this thing is bussin', no cap, for real. This has been the Code Report. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.
Right. It's interesting how people are much more excited about Bun than something like Dino. In a sense, it's probably because it's like Bun is not saying you're doing everything wrong, let's do it the right way. So yeah, so it's a bit of a marketing victory. Yeah. On the other hand, it's probably easier for people to understand. Okay, I can do most of the stuff that I do, but faster. It's kind of like easier to sell than something like Dino of like, okay, let's do everything the same, but in a right way. And it's like, okay, you think that this way is right, but like, how do you convince me, right? So anyway, I think it's a cool news. It's a cool thing that I got so many so many subscribers or so many views on. I actually got more than 100 subscribers, but I still can't edit my channel name, channel like URL. So this part, I'm not entirely sure what I want to get right there, because parasocial meta learning is a long name. It's going to be even longer than this random characters, but yeah. Oh yeah, and I had to make a banner because it's like, it says that you have to have a banner. Anyway, so just in case if ever if someone watched all 3 hours and and somehow still listening to me, I want to say thanks. You're helping me with my like watch time metric, and yeah, it's really cool. And I don't know, I should probably leave some secret message for people who watch to who watched all 3 hours. What's the secret message? I think yeah. Secret message is that I like Drupal much more than WordPress. Do with that what you want. And what else? I think I should just stop. Yeah, I think that I hope that the thing with YouTube videos worked. I was going to try it for so long, and I didn't know how to do it on Mac. And I was actually like, I think it was on stream. Theo was like complaining about how videos on Mac doesn't work, like sound on videos doesn't work, and that got me thinking, oh, like, can I make it? Because I was planning to do it in like more complicated way, but I just googled a bit how OBS works, and I think that's going to be it. What else? Oh yeah, I actually added like a link on my where is it? Like on my page. Is that it? Q&A, yeah. So if you wanna leave me, if you're kind of like too what's the word? If you're too hesitant to kind of like to leave a comment or write a DM on Twitter, yeah, just click on this thing. It would be funny to read what you write. Anyway, let's try to stop it. Let's hope it works. And yeah, I don't know what I'm doing on the next stream, so it's going